The words hit him like a freight train. I think I've loved you for years. She hadn't meant to send the message to him. It had been meant for her sister. He stared at the glowing screen, his heartbeat pounding so loudly he couldn't hear the traffic outside his apartment window. Before he could even process what he'd read, another notification appeared. Emily, no. 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 Please ignore that. Wrong person. Please pretend you never saw it. Then another. I'm so sorry. Please don't answer. I'll probably move to another state now. For 10 years, Emily Harper had been his best friend. For 10 years, Ethan Brooks had convinced himself that friendship was enough. Until one accidental text destroyed every wall they had carefully built. 5 minutes later, Ethan wasn't texting back. He was running. 4 blocks. Straight to her front door. When people asked Ethan how he and Emily became friends, he always smiled. It started with a flat tire. It had happened during freshman year of college. Emily had been standing beside her broken-down car in the pouring rain, trying to change a tire with instructions pulled up on her phone. Ethan had been walking home from his evening shift at a grocery store. He had offered to help. She had insisted she could do it herself. He had smiled. You probably can, he'd said. But we'll both get soaked, so maybe let me help. She laughed. That laugh stayed with him long after the rain stopped. From that day on, they became inseparable. Study partners. Movie buddies. Late-night diners. Road trip companions. Each other's emergency contact. The first person they called with good news. The first person they leaned on during heartbreak. Emily dated other men. Ethan dated other women. Neither relationship ever lasted. Friends constantly teased them. You two are basically married. They always laughed it off. It's different, Emily would say. She's family, Ethan would answer. It became their favorite lie. Years passed. College became careers. Emily became a pediatric nurse. Ethan opened a small home renovation business. Life became busy. But somehow they still found time every Friday night for tacos from the little family-owned restaurant downtown. The owners knew their order before they sat down. Every Christmas they volunteered together at the homeless shelter. Every Thanksgiving they packed food boxes for elderly neighbors. Emily believed kindness wasn't something people should schedule. It should become muscle memory, she often said. Ethan admired that about her. She noticed lonely people before anyone else did. She remembered birthdays. She delivered soup to sick neighbors. She bought backpacks for children she never met. She somehow made strangers feel seen. He wondered countless times why no one stayed with someone like her. Then he wondered something even more dangerous. Why wasn't he the one? 3 years earlier, Ethan almost confessed. They had spent the evening watching fireworks by the lake. Emily rested her head against his shoulder. The sky exploded in red and gold. He took a deep breath. Emily. Before he could continue, her phone rang. Her father had suffered a heart attack. The confession disappeared. Instead, Ethan drove 3 hours through the night without saying a word. He stayed with her family for 4 days. Cooked meals. Fixed broken cabinets. Walked her nervous golden retriever. Handled everything no one else noticed. Emily cried against his shoulder after her father recovered. I don't know what I'd do without you. He smiled. You'll never have to find out. Again, he buried the truth. His mother noticed. You love her. Ethan pretended not to hear. His mother repeated herself. You've loved that girl for years. We're friends. She smiled knowingly. No, son. You think telling her will ruin everything. He looked away. Maybe. She reached across the table. Sometimes silence ruins more than honesty. He remembered those words often. Just never enough to act. Emily carried her own secret. Every birthday, she bought Ethan 2 gifts. One she gave him. The other stayed hidden inside her closet. Letters she never mailed. Photos she never framed. Birthday cards she never signed. Dreams she never admitted. She feared losing the safest relationship she'd ever known. Friendship felt guaranteed. Love never did. So she chose silence. Every single time. Then came the accidental text. Emily had spent the afternoon talking with her older sister. Her sister finally asked the question everyone else avoided. Do you love Ethan? Emily sighed. I've loved him forever. So tell him. I can't. Why? Because if he doesn't feel the same, I lose my best friend. Her sister kept encouraging her. Finally Emily typed a long message. I think I've loved him for years. Every room feels brighter when he walks in. Every accomplishment feels incomplete until I tell him. Every bad day becomes manageable if he smiles. If I never say anything, at least I'll still have my best friend. She meant to send it to her sister. Instead, she sent it to Ethan. She froze. Her face turned white. Her hands shook so badly she nearly dropped her phone. She immediately apologized. Then she threw the phone across her couch. I'm never leaving this apartment again. She buried her face in a pillow. 5 endless minutes passed. No reply. She whispered to herself. He's trying to figure out how to let me down gently. Tears filled her eyes. Then, the doorbell rang. Once. Twice. 3 times. Who could possibly? She opened the door. Ethan stood there. Completely out of breath. Sweat soaked through his shirt. His hair looked windblown. He bent over, trying to catch his breath. You. He inhaled sharply. Live. Another breath. 4. Another. Blocks. She blinked. Did you run here? He nodded. She stared in confusion. You didn't answer my text. I know. You could have called. I know. You could have, I couldn't wait. Silence filled the doorway. People walked dogs across the street. A little girl rode her bicycle past them. The entire neighborhood continued moving while their world stopped. Finally Ethan laughed. I think my mother is going to be very annoyed. Emily frowned. What? She spent 3 years telling me silence was ruining everything. Emily felt tears forming again. He looked directly into her eyes. I've loved you since the day you argued with me over changing your tire. She covered her mouth. He continued. I loved you during every Friday taco dinner. I loved you at every volunteer event. I loved you when you cried over your dad. I loved you every single day. I just kept convincing myself friendship was safer. Emily's tears spilled freely now. You really ran 4 blocks just to tell me that? He smiled. I would have run 40. She laughed through tears. Then she stepped forward. Wrapped both arms around him. And kissed him before either of them could overthink another second. The kiss wasn't dramatic. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't like the movies. It was better. Because it felt like coming home. Months later, everyone acted as though they had predicted it. Friends rolled their eyes. It's about time. Emily's sister demanded credit. Ethan's mother simply smiled. I told you. Neither argued. She had earned that victory. Dating changed surprisingly little. They still ate tacos every Friday. Still volunteered together. Still spent Sundays helping elderly neighbors with yard work. Still believed kindness mattered more than expensive gifts. The only difference was that Ethan finally held her hand. Emily no longer hid birthday cards. And silence disappeared from their relationship. Whenever something mattered, they said it. One snowy evening, they delivered blankets to a temporary shelter. A little boy accepted one from Emily. "Are you two married?" Emily smiled. "Not yet." The little boy nodded thoughtfully. "My grandma says people who help other people together stay together forever." Ethan looked at Emily. She squeezed his hand. The child hurried away. Neither spoke for several seconds. Then Ethan quietly asked, "Do you think he's right?" Emily smiled. "I hope so." The following spring, Ethan invited Emily back to the same lake where they had watched fireworks years before. Only this time there were no fireworks. No crowds. Just sunset reflecting across calm water. He reached into his pocket. Emily laughed. "You finally finished what you started years ago?" He nodded. "I got interrupted." She smiled. "I remember." He knelt on one knee. "I spent years believing loving someone meant protecting them from rejection." He swallowed. "But you taught me something different. Real love is honesty. It's showing up. It's running 4 blocks because a text message isn't enough. It's choosing each other every day." He opened the small box. "Emily Harper. My best friend. My favorite person. My greatest blessing. Will you marry me?" She didn't hesitate. Not even for a heartbeat. "Yes." People nearby applauded. An elderly couple smiled from a nearby bench. The sky glowed orange as if celebrating with them. Emily slipped the ring onto her finger before throwing her arms around him. "You know," she whispered. "What?" "If I'd never sent that message to the wrong person." He laughed. "I would have spent another year trying to build enough courage." She kissed his forehead. "Then maybe accidents aren't always accidents." Ethan looked toward the peaceful lake and thought about every quiet act of kindness that had brought them to this moment: a flat tire in the rain, late-night drives, shared meals, volunteer work, comforting each other through loss, and one accidentally sent text that finally uncovered years of hidden love. Sometimes the greatest love stories don't begin with perfect timing or grand declarations. Sometimes they begin with two people who spend years choosing kindness before choosing romance. Because love isn't only found in dramatic moments. It's found in showing up. In staying. In serving others together. And sometimes, it's found 4 blocks away, behind the door of your best friend, waiting for the courage you've carried in your heart all along.